Hello, my name is Daniel Twilinjiri. This project is going to talk about different aspects of the U.S. government, and specifically we're going to start by what the checks and balances means and how they works in the U.S. government. So the checks and balances are various procedures that are set in place to reduce mistakes or prevent improper behavior or decrease the risk of centralization of power. So the checks and balances, they usually ensure that no person or department has absolute power over the control of decisions around the U.S. government. So clearly, it defines the assigned duties and the person who are responsible for certain activities, and also it's a force of cooperation in completing different tasks. So the term is commonly used like in the context of the government, the US government. So here is how the checks and balances works. So the US government exercises the checks and balances through its three branches. Legislative and the executive and the judicial branch. So those three different branches are the ones that are involved in these checks and balance procedures. This operates under the Constitution of the United States of America, and also it abides with principles and actions that are authorized by the federal and corresponding states in the Constitution. So we're moving forward to the origin of the United States two-party system. This is a very common and a very known system that is commonly used in the United States of American government. So throughout the history of the two-party system, this has started around the 1790s, where George Washington believed that the political parties would be damaging to the American society and needed to be avoided. It means in George's understandings, the parties to get involved in the politics, he thought that it will bring a lot of damages to the society. So he suggested to avoid those political parties. Yet the politics around these 1790s, the politics was very dominant by the arguments of two distinct political groups. The Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. There was two different two distinct political groups, which is Federalist and the Anti-Federalist, which was discussing different arguments on the table. These disagreements escalated considerably in the 1790s, and they were best understood by examining the arguments between Alexander Hamilton, who was the leader of Federalists, and Thomas Jefferson, who was the leader of Anti-Federalists. Also, these Anti-Federalists was also well known as the Democratic Republicans. So Jefferson and Hamilton's first major disagreement emerged over the nature of the government. According to Alexander Hamilton, he believes that the U.S. government, to be successful, it would have to be formed in a similar way like the British imperial model that has been very successful at the time. So it would need a stronger central government, the treasurer, financial sector, and national army and strong political executive representing the interest of all states. This was according to Jefferson. And continuing in those period of those different disagreements, so it was deeply mistrust that the British shows Hamilton's preference for the British style system as being dangerous to to the hard-won freedom of the American Revolution. This means Hamilton, according to Hamilton's understandings, he thought that using the British system, it is also dangerous due to the fact that they have fought very, very hard to revolutionize America and get the freedom from the hands of the British. So Jefferson's preference was political power to reside with individual states and their legislature, not in central government. So around 1080, the Federalist Party effectively disappeared when Thomas Jefferson, who was an anti-federalist, was defeated by his old friend John Adams. So in this period, Federalists won the seat in the presidency of the United States. But this very difficult decade, marked by the mistrust and the rise of factional newspapers, profound arguments about the future of the United States, they provide origins of the two-system party in the United States of America. So, and that's how the two-system party began. So, moving to another point which is very, very important in the United States politics is the third party. So the third party, although the United States politics is structured around the two-system party, the third party occasionally influences elections and other political perspectives in the country. So these third party candidates sometimes obtain electoral positions technically, and this third party refers to the third largest party in the system. But the U.S. In general had gained some traction throughout American history. I mean the third party has tried to gain some traction throughout the American history by earning different seats in the government. Like for instance, where the third party which has been involved in politics, the party which is called Socialist Party. This has held almost 600 mayor offices in the United States, and this was in the period of Theodore Roosevelt, who also obtained a significant number of votes in the United States presidential bid as the Progressive Party candidate in the 1912. This is a very good example of how the third party has played a very big role in the United States politics, where Roosevelt has obtained a seat, a presidential seat from a third party, which was named a Progressive Party, and this was around 1912. So this shows a lot of impact that the third party has been impacting the political system and the way politics is played in the United States of America. Thank you so much. This is the end of the video.